welcome back to Nails Before Films. Today I'm continuing my review of the Alien franchise. I've already reviewed the 3 sequels of Alien and the 2 crossover movies with Predator. The links for those are in the description. This time I'll be going over the 2 prequel movies, Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I honestly don't know why these 2 movies are necessary. They add nothing of value to the franchise and they're just so dumb. Let's go over Prometheus first. I think Prometheus is a watchable, generic, kind of bad sci-fi movie. There are so many things in the story that don't make sense. Let's go through some of them. First of all of them are terrible scientists. Why would you take your helmets off on a planet you know nothing about? Even if the air is breathable, there could be alien viruses or something. Next, it's stupid how the geologist guy and the glasses guy get lost. You're the one who brought the probes and you have contact with the ship the entire time. Why not just ask them to walk you out of there? You guys literally have a map of the interior. Why not just ask for directions if you so desperately want to get out? What happens to them later makes even less sense. So these 2 people are really freaked out by the whole dead alien thing, right? What do you think they do when they encounter a creepy alien worm thing? Do they run away? Do they try to kill it? Nope, the guy with glasses tries to pet it. I'm serious, that's what he tries to do. These are the same guys who are freaked out by an alien corpse. Why are you so chill with a living alien worm? And surprise, surprise, the alien worm thing turns out to be an arm hugger and attacks them. It's just so stupid. Next, in the middle of the film, the geologist guy mutated due to the black goo and he just shows up in front of the ship and kills a bunch of people. That scene is just so out of place, and I feel like it should have happened earlier when the crew goes looking for them. And how did the crew not freak out when they see the geologist guy in a position that isn't humanly possible? Ultimately, that attack changes nothing and everyone is somehow chill about it. They should be freaking out and try to leave as soon as possible. What's even the point of getting attacked by the mutated geologist guy? Just for shock value? The part about Ellie giving birth to an alien is also weird. How come nobody stops her from getting to the med pod? And how is the med pod just there for her to use? You think that such an expensive and important piece of equipment would be managed better and only a few people can access it. But no, Ellie just gets to it without any problem, and no one even notices her using it. She's also way too chill after taking out an alien squid from her. She should be screaming and warning everyone about the possibility of being impregnated by an alien creature. I feel like this is a serious risk that everyone should know about. I understand that Weyland wants the engineers to help him live forever or something, but is it really worth the risk? You could get mutated like the geologist guy or have an alien grow inside you. Besides, you don't even know for sure if the engineers will help you. Don't you think you're risking a lot for something you don't even know will work? It's just a really dumb plan, and I feel like there are better ways for Weyland to achieve his goal other than fighting aliens who have no reason to care about him. And I don't get why Weyland being alive is supposed to be a twist. The mission doesn't change even if he's there, so why make it a secret? The same thing goes for the blonde mission commander being Weyland's daughter. It's really foreseeable, and I don't get why that needs to be a twist. I'm also confused by David, the droid's action. Why does he bring the vase back to the ship? He has no idea what it is. What if it's a weapon that can destroy the whole ship if you mess with it? Wouldn't that kill Weyland as well? And why does he spike Charlie's drink when he doesn't know what it'll do? What if it mutates him like the geologist guy and he kills everyone on the ship? It just makes no sense. I also have a problem with the last engineer. I get that their mission is probably to bring the black goo to Earth, but then why go after Ellie after his ship crashed? According to David, there are other ships. Shouldn't he try to salvage the cargo and use another ship to get to Earth? Going after Ellie is a waste of time. And why don't Ellie and Weyland's daughter run to the side when the ship crashes? Why are they running in the direction that the ship is rolling into? It's so stupid. And why does Ellie go after the engineers in the end? Do you really think they will answer your questions? What makes you think that they won't kill you? Shouldn't you go back to Earth and warn people about a potential hostile alien race? Anyway, all of the problems I just mentioned apply to Prometheus, even if it's not a prequel to Alien. There are even more problems if it's a prequel. First of all, why? Why make this prequel? One of the reasons why Alien is so horrifying is because of the unknown. We don't know where the xenomorphs come from, neither does the crew of Nostromo. And that's why it's scary. I don't think many of us thought, I wish I could know more about the space giants and the xenomorph after watching Alien. And Prometheus doesn't even do a good job of explaining the origin of xenomorphs. I'm more confused about how the aliens come to be than before. So do xenomorphs come from the black goo, or do they still need a host like the one in Ellie? What about the eggs we see in Alien? Where do those come from? There's nothing wrong with how xenomorphs are born in the previous films. A facehugger comes from an egg, it attaches itself to a living creature, and a xenomorph bursts from the host's chest after some time. It's simple and sufficient. But for some reason, Prometheus has to make it needlessly complicated. I'm also not a big fan of the vague philosophy about where humans come from. It pretends that it's profound, but it's very basic if you think about it. The comparison between the human-droid relationship and the engineer-human relationship is also weird. Droids know exactly who their creators are and what their purposes are, but humans have no idea who created us and why we're born. So how is this a good comparison? It's annoying how the film tries to sound deep when it doesn't provide any interesting insights. So is there anything I like in Prometheus? Well, the movie is visually impressive and Michael Fassbender plays David well. That's basically it. Like I said, I think Prometheus is watchable, but it's definitely not good, and it's even worse as the prequel of Alien. Next, we have the sequel of Prometheus, Alien Covenant, which is somehow even dumber. How? Prometheus is already loaded with stupid decisions. How do you make Covenant worse? Prometheus is still watchable, but Covenant is so stupid that it's hard to watch. Anyway, Covenant takes place about 10 years after Prometheus. A ship with 2,000 colonists is off to colonize a planet. However, during their journey, they pick up a transmission from another planet that seems suitable for colonization. Naturally, they abandon their original planet, which they know more about, and go to this completely foreign planet. You see how stupid this is? And the worst thing is that the protagonist, Danny, actually points this out and tells the captain they should stick to their original plan. So the film knows that this is a stupid decision, but they do it anyway. Just because you point it out doesn't make it not stupid, and what happens later is even dumber. So they go to this unknown planet. You think that they will wear full protection suits like in Prometheus. But no, they're going raw with absolutely no protection. At least wear a face mask or something. Are you guys dumb? And for some reason, the black goo from the last movie now grows into funguses or something and spreads spores that would impregnate people. Yes, it's as stupid as it sounds. There's a huge problem with this. If the black goo is now airborne, how come only 2 of them are infected? Shouldn't all of you be infected? How does this work? Anyway, unsurprisingly, 2 Neomorphs burst from the infected crew members and attack the Covenant ground crew. A mysterious figure helps them escape, and of course, it's just David from Prometheus. We already know that the ship Covenant discovered earlier is the one he and Ellie took at the end of Prometheus, so of course it'll be David. Somehow, David is even creepier this time. He tells the Covenant crew a really suspicious story and leads them through a bunch of dead bodies. Yet, they somehow believe that they're safe with him. David then gets weird with Walter, the droid on Covenant, and by weird, I mean freaking cringe. He makes Walter play the flute, and I kid you not. David says, "You blow, I'll do the fingering." What the actual fudge? Don't you hear how cringe that sounds? Who thought this was a good idea? They then have a vague philosophical conversation about how David thinks droids are superior and he wants to end humanity. It's so annoying and makes no sense. Unsurprisingly, David intentionally released the black goo on the space giants when he and Ellie arrived. For some reason, the space giants suspected nothing and they all died. How? A ship of yours that has been lost for thousands of years suddenly comes back and you don't find it suspicious? Aren't you guys supposed to be super advanced? Anyway, turns out David has been doing a little bioengineering himself. For some reason, he's obsessed with creating the perfect organism and wants to wipe out humanity with it. Why? I get that he thinks droids are better than humans, but he never acts outside of his programming in Prometheus. Everything he did was to fulfill Wayland's wish, and he even helped Ellie escape in the end. If it weren't for Ellie's bright idea of going after the space giants, they would have gone back to Earth. Why is he suddenly the villain now? Instead of wiping out humanity, wouldn't it make more sense if David wanted to create the perfect organism to help humans evolve? I like David in Prometheus, but he is insufferably pretentious in Covenant. And I feel like he's just weird for the sake of being weird. Besides the cringy, blowing, and fingering conversation, he also kisses people randomly. He kisses Walter and Danny for no reason other than being weird. Why? What happened to you in these 10 years? Anyway, the captain finally figures out David is sketchy after the droid treats a Xenomorph like it's a pet. So what does he do? Does he shoot David to make sure he can't do anything suspicious? Does he warn the others and get out of there? Nope. He follows David into a dark, sinister-looking cellar where there are multiple alien eggs. And when the creepy droid assures him that it's perfectly safe, he freaking puts his face over the egg. Are you dumb? Just when I think he's getting wiser by suspecting David, he pulls this stupid stunt. At that point, I had to pause the movie and do a face palm. That's the moment that killed this movie for me. It's just so unbelievably dumb. Why would you put your face over a super scary alien egg? And why would you believe David, someone you already suspect isn't telling the truth? What is happening? Why is this movie so stupid? Surprise, surprise. A face hugger bursts from the egg and attaches itself to the captain. Yeah, good riddance. You totally deserve that. Let's get this over with. Walter and David fight while the others try to get back to Covenant. Just when Walter is about to decommission David, we cut away from the fight. Later, Walter joins the other, but we all know that's actually David. It makes no sense how David could kill Walter, cut off his arm, change clothes, and scratch his face in that very short amount of time. And why scratch his face? None of the humans saw that happen. Wouldn't it make more sense to leave his face uninjured so that the audience can tell he's David, but not the human characters? That twist is just so foreseeable. You know that's going to happen when they make the two droids identical. And why does David's hair grow during the 10 years? He's a droid. He doesn't need growing hair. Whatever. After they get back to the ship, it's no surprise that one of them is actually carrying an alien. Danny and another crew member manage to push it out into space with their trucks. That part is done decently, but it's so unimaginative. It's already done in Alien and Aliens. Can you really not think of another way to get rid of the alien? Danny then realizes the droid is David just before she's put into stasis. David then throws up some alien embryos and the movie ends. Alien Covenant is honestly so bad, I don't understand how they managed to make it even more nonsensical than Prometheus. At least Prometheus has some pretty visuals, but Covenant just looks dull and depressing. Michael Fassbender's David is one of the few things I like in Prometheus, but there's just too much of him in Covenant. He still does a good job, but David is just too weird and the parts with the two identical droids are cringe too. That's basically my thoughts on the two Alien prequel movies. They are mediocre at best and sometimes straight up terrible. There is absolutely no need for these two movies, and in the end, they just make me wish there won't be any more Alien movies. I did a Xenomorph Chestburster nail this time. I think it's super cute. Finally, I'll be doing Alien Romulus next. Hope you guys like my review and nails. I'm a bit sick, so that's why my voice sounds weird. As always, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, share, do what you want. Follow me on other social media if you like. Links are in the description. Keep nailing it and don't be stupid like the humans in these movies, people.